HotMamaTravel!
Hello Hot Fam and welcome back to the channel Hot Mama Travel. Today we are taking you on part 3 of haunted places that we have visited. Haunted Scotland. Woohoo! Kevin is rocking here his awesome safety mask right now. It's a superhero. Our whole family got a bunch of them from a nice woman who is making beautiful masks, so we will link her shop in our description box below if you're interested. Before we get into the video, please hit that like button if you like haunted places and the subscribe button to join the Hot Fam and the notification bell so you never miss a new video with us. The first haunted place in Scotland that we want to share with you today is Stirling Castle, located in Stirling, Scotland. First record of Stirling Castle was in 1110, although it is thought to be much older than that.
1296 marked the start of the Scottish Wars of Independence. For 60 years, the castle repeatedly changed hands from English to Scottish.
Castle is most famous for the battle on the Stirling Bridge, when William Wallace took back the castle from England.
Queen Mary of Scots was crowned queen here in 1543. And when she returned back to Scotland in 1561, she had her son, James VI, baptized at Stirling Castle. King Charles II was the last reigning monarch to live in Stirling Castle in the 1650s.
One of the ghosts that haunts Stirling Castle is the Earl of Douglas, who was a noble and enemy of the king. He was wined and dined or stabbed in the neck by King James II.
Another ghost of Stirling Castle is the Blue Lady, who said to be scorned lover of King James II.
Another ghost of Stirling Castle is the Pink Lady. There are 2 stories behind this ghost. She's either a victim of a grave robbery or a knight's fiancé. But when she's seen, you can smell the scent of rose blossoms.
Another ghost of the castle is the Green Lady. She's one of Queen Mary of Scots ladies. She died saving her from a chamber fire.
Our haunted experience in Stirling Castle was that I took a picture of an empty room after the kids had just left it, and we got a very clear picture of what looks to me like hands and knuckles and wrists.
Oh
but
yeah, that one was a big.
We'll put it up for you guys to decide what you see. The second haunted place in Scotland we want to share with you guys is Edinburgh Castle, located in Edinburgh, Scotland. The site is thought to be inhabited since the late Bronze Age, but first historical record of the castle is in 600 AD.
2 stone buildings from the 12th century still exist, including St. Margaret's Chapel.
This castle was also caught up in the Scottish Wars of Independence.
Queen Mary of Scotland actually gave birth to her son, King James VI, in Edinburgh Castle.
On June 19, 1566, when Mary Queen of Scots gave birth to her baby, we're in the room.
And the castle was used as a garrison fortress during the Jacobite Rebellion in the 1600s.
Edinburgh Castle was used to hold POWs in the 7-Year War of American Revolution and the Napoleon Wars.
A ghost of the Edinburgh Castle is known as the Dung Prisoner, who was supposedly tossed down the rocky slopes in a dung chamber. And the ghost is near. It's said that you can smell poo.
There's a headless drummer boy who warns Castle of attack.
Another ghost of Edinburgh Castle is said to be Janet Douglas. She was accused of witchcraft and she was burned at the stake at the castle, and she's known as the Grey Lady. The third haunted place in Scotland we'd like to share with you guys is the Edinburgh Vaults. The Edinburgh Vaults are a series of chambers that run underneath the city, and they were built in 1788. They were used to house businesses and trades for 30 years.
They were known as the Edinburgh slums, and they were used for seedy business and homeless. Lots of tragic stories.
The vaults were shut down in the late 1800s and then were found again in 1980 and reopened. One of the ghosts of the vaults, well, the saddest ghost of the vault, is the little boy Jack. and he's known to grab the hands of visitors.
Mr. Boots is another ghost in the bottle. He's not very nice. He pushes and throws rocks at people and is known for his tall boots.
William Hayes and William Burke were two serial killers known to take victims from the vaults and sell their bodies for science experiments. And they are also known to still haunt the vaults, probably looking for victims. Because the Edinburgh Vaults are located under privately owned buildings, you do have to book a tour in order to explore them, and that was really hard for us because our kids were 3 and 4 at the time, and most of the tours did not allow children under a certain age to take the tour because they really hype up the fear factor. However, we were able to go on the torture tour.
And really scary down here. It's totally dark, so you might not see my face, but I am in the camera.
I would say out of all the haunted places that we visited in Scotland, the Edinburgh Vaults were probably the heaviest energy. One of the vaults had a stone circle, and it was said that you'd be cursed if you stepped inside. I asked if anybody was brave enough to step inside the circle, and my husband, holding the baby, Kevin, stepped inside right away. And of course, as a mother, I had to step inside too.
And I stepped in.
Keely stepped inside too, because if we're going to go down, we're all going to go down together. The fourth haunted place in Scotland we'd like to talk to you about is the beautiful Glencoe in the Scottish Highlands. It's known as the Weeping Glen for its massacre of 1692. Following the first Jacobite rebellion. The Glencoe massacre was when 30 members of the Clan MacDonald were slaughtered by members of Clan Campbell for not pledging allegiance to King William III. The saddest part about the massacre was that it was deemed as murder in trust, as the Clan MacDonalds were hosting the members of the Clan Campbell in their homes for about 10 to 12 days before they were killed in their sleep at 5 a.m. on February 13th, 1692.
Now the Weeping Glen is haunted with the spirits of that massacre. Spiritual reenactments of that massacre occur on February 13th every year.
The fifth haunted place that we'd like to share with you in Scotland is Inveraray Castle. It was built in the mid-1700s atop a 15th century castle, and it belonged to the Dukes of Argyll, the Clan Campbell.
The 13th Duke and his family still live there.
One of the ghosts of Inveraray Castle is a young Irish harpist who was brutally killed in the original castle of 1644. His body was left on the Duke's bed. When the bed was moved to the new castle in the MacArthur room, the ghost is said to have come with it. When the ghost is present, you can hear the sound of harp music.
Another ghost is known as the Grey Lady. Not much is known about her, but the Duke's daughters have seen her.
The sixth and final haunted place from Scotland that we're going to share with you today is Dover's Inn. Dover's Inn was built in the 1700s and has hosted many infamous guests, including Roy MacGregor, known as the Scottish Robin Hood.
There's a haunted ghost family that is known to haunt the inn. They were said to have frozen to death on their way to Dover's Inn.
Room 6 is said to be haunted by a little girl that had drowned in the river right behind the inn, and her body was actually laid in room 6 while arrangements were made for a funeral. She is now seen haunting the inn. And a little girl does appear in some people's photos.
Another ghost of Dover's Inn is Angus the cattle herder. He rested at Dover's Inn over 300 years ago, and his cattle was stolen by a rival clan. The Highland chieftain banished Angus and killed his family. Angus came back to the inn for revenge, but the rival clan got to him first, and now his ghost haunts the inn.
Remember to hit that like button before you go, and make sure you're subscribed and be a member of the Hot Fam so that you always join us on a virtual vacation.
Thanks for watching. Bye!
Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe and never miss another minute of the fun. And of course, we offer detailed destination guides and travel tips over at our blog, HotMamaTravel.com, to make your next family adventure hot.